Ripple friends. I have something to share with you today. So, you know how sometimes when you're trying to pray and it's just, you can't even think of something to say, or it seems like your prayers are stale and it's the same thing over and over again. So I was working the other day and I really wish I could remember, or I knew actually, who I was listening to, because she had really great advice and I wanted to share it with you. I've been doing this for a couple days and it's really working out for me. So I've been messing around with prayer Bibles and I just really haven't had any good luck for me. Okay, so if it's working for you, that's great. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for me, it just didn't seem to work out right. So, but what this lady said was, this is how she does it. So she prays from 3 different books of the Bible. She prays one chapter of Psalms, one chapter of Proverbs, and one other chapter from everywhere else, wherever she happens to be. And so the way that she does it is she starts in Psalms 1 and she reads it. Now, this is not deep dive study. This is prayer time. This is not study time. Okay? And so we're going to take that pressure off. This is not a deep dive, right? We're just reading it, and whatever we get out of that chapter, there's a prayer there. And the thing about the Psalms is, there's a lot of prayer in the Psalms. And then she does one for Proverbs. And, Proverbs has 31 chapters in it. So today happens to be Valentine's Day, the 14th, the day that I'm recording this. And so today, this morning, I read Proverbs 14 and picked out a couple little key bits from it and prayed that. And then I happen to be praying through 1 Thessalonians right now. And same thing. I just read through it and pick out a couple key thoughts and apply that to my prayer life. And I've really found it to be, first of all, very helpful as far as, what to pray for, but also, for example, a couple days ago, I think it was 1 Thessalonians 2, 17 to 20. It was still in the greeting, and the gist of the verse was, I really long to see you, but Satan's getting in the way, but I want to see you face to face. He's talking to the Thessalonians. And that one really personally kind of got to me, because that's how I'm feeling right now. I want to see my family really bad, and it just seems like things are getting in the way. I'm not going to credit Satan with it. I think in my case, it's just things that happen in life, but I'm in a different circumstance that Paul was in. But the cool thing about it was, I could put that on the Lord and just let him know that, yes, I'm really longing to be with my family and to spend some time with them. And I want to see them. And I even shared that with my daughter and my son-in-law to let them know that, the Lord uses the scriptures, first of all, in so many ways. Of course, he speaks to us, but he also uses them to be relatable. In this case, it was Paul and Timothy, but they wanted so bad to be with the Thessalonians and spend some time with them, because they're people just like you and me. And so it kind of hit me a different way. Not just a way to guide and instruct, or how much the Lord saves us, which is not, I'm not dismissing these things. They're all very important. But the fact that even in our little human minds, the things that we we hold dear to us. The Lord understands that. So that's just one way currently that this actually applied to my life. Not necessarily so much spiritually, in that it wasn't some great revelation. It was just a very quiet little nod from God, really. And I feel kind of humbled in that, you know. And I've said so many times before, like, especially with the letters, why don't we talk to each other like that anymore? You know, we never greet each other the way Paul sent his greetings to his friends. So, and then oh gosh, I wish I remember her name, or I knew who she was. The thing about this particular way of praying the scriptures is that you can give yourself grace. So sometimes, you know, it may take a little longer, especially if you have something really big that's on your heart, or you're going through something difficult, or, you know, whatever's going on in your life, or maybe the Lord does speak to you in a bigger way. I haven't gotten to that point yet, because I've just started trying this. But it also reminds me, you know, I mean, I talk a lot on this channel about reading the Word and eating the Word and getting to know the Lord. But it's a two-way street. So we have to talk to the Lord too. And this is one of those things, like just a conversation, like you might call somebody that you care about, your mom or your friend or your brother or sister, somebody, you know, and you're just calling to check up. It's not a big, long conversation necessarily. It could be, but it's just something kind of quick, you know, how you doing, hello kind of thing. And it's a two-way street. So you're letting the Lord talk to you through these scriptures. And then you're talking back. And, you know, sometimes my prayer, or maybe for that particular little scripture that I'm reading, might be, Lord, help me to check my tongue before I speak, or something like that. You know, when maybe he's talking about, like in Proverbs, he's talking about angry people. So, you know, I might pray something real small like that. But also to help us think, like to prompt us to pray for other people. This morning, the things that I picked out were not just about the unity between what is going on in my family, or is going to go on, but, you know, we have some unsaved people that are going to be pulled into this as well. And so I was able to pray that that the life that those of us who are saved becomes so overflowing with the all the glory of God, that those who witness this will actually desire to be that part of our community. So, you know, it's just things like that. And I thought it was really, it's a good way just to stay on track. It's not a substitute, because obviously we need to pray for people in the moment as well. But just that quiet time to catch up with God, just like you would anybody else, I think it's a really good practice. And I wanted to share it with you. And, you know, I know sometimes it was really hard to squeeze that time in, but really, I mean, I don't know, I may change my mind when I get to Psalm 119, because I know that's a long one, or maybe I'll break it up, I don't know. But it is a really good way to continuously start practicing talking to God and with God, instead of just telling him what you want and thinking that he's not going to speak back to you, or feeling like he doesn't reach out to you as well, because he does, or at least he has for me. He does. So I just wanted to share that. I thought it was a really neat practice. I did get to share it with my son-in-law the other day. I was talking to him and telling him about it, and he thought it sounded really interesting, and he's going to try it too. So it's a good practice. So I will talk to you guys again later, and you have a great day.